Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in, everyone, to Undrafted Uncensored, where apparently Go Live is not working on Instagram right now. But we are here.
I knew something was up. Something was happening. I could
Hang
tell.
on. Let me try it again. Hang on.
I was about to take the intro from you because I was like, I knew something was happening because normally I see it popping up on the screen.
Oh, that's why this time apparently we hit our limit. So I got to get rid of one of these bad boys. Which one did I get rid of last time? I think I got rid of the E52 YouTube.
No,
we're just here, busting through glass ceilings and breaking through our limits.
Take the Twitch off?
It's already gone. There you go. Yes.
That explains it.
I knew something was happening.
Something was amiss.
I was correct in my assumption.
You were correct. I was slightly distracted by
titties?
No, by NHL Twitter.
The opposite of titties.
Yeah. All right, welcome in Instagram.
There we go.
To our Undrafted Uncensored. You missed the intro song, and you also missed Nick being confused.
Yeah. Well, hey, in my defense, I did tell you I was dealing with a massive headache today. So the fact that I can be upright and part of the show is a miracle in itself.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
Plus, it's a big L because I'm wearing a White Sox hat. So, I mean, there's that too.
All the losses.
It rubbed off. Yeah.
And I was going to say, the one thing you didn't miss is Colin being right, because there will be plenty of that coming up.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you. Make sure to tell your friends and your family.
But really do. We would appreciate liking and subscribing and sharing.
Yes, we do actually.
We continue to grow this podcast and show and do what we do and hopefully grow into something phenomenal. But we appreciate everyone who tunes in.
We're not looking to be Pat McAfee, but I mean, if you want us to get that big, we wouldn't mind it. But you
could say small. You were here from the start.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get you one of those old school stickers too. We'll find our Elevation logo here. We'll put it on a sticker, and you can say I was among the first.
Yep.
Yeah. We can all start wearing black tank tops and shitty gold chains to look like we're cokeheads in Miami or something.
No.
Sorry, well, we're trying to be like Pat McAfee. What else do we do?
Help us become big like Pat McAfee.
Yes. Yeah, I like
we
my
word. We were going to become Pat McAfee.
Yes.
I don't see what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, those are famous last words. Anyways, so speaking of famous last words, the Moose is loose is no longer a word or sentence we can say. The Moose is heading to Carolina. I know normally we start with the NFL, but this is a little bit bigger because this actually affects the Stanley Cup run.
Yeah,
so the Moose is headed to Carolina, and Colin was nice enough to get us a screenshot of the trade, which is the Carolina Hurricanes will get Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. The Avalanche will get Martin Necas and Jack Drury. And the Blackhawks, for whatever reason, felt left out. So they will receive a third-round draft pick, and they will retain 50% of Mikko Rantanen's salary. Did I miss something? Did the Bednar end up in Chicago GMing the Blackhawks? Or
Sakic worked his magic again.
One
thing, there's a few things that I do know from this. One is that the Taylor Hall money, Chicago will not hold on to any of that either.
That's what
Carolina will have all of that on their books. With the Mikko trade and getting these two guys, Drury is a nephew of former Avalanche favorite Chris Drury. So that's some old Avalanche ties. They are getting two centers back in this deal. And
they need that.
Yeah, and so a second line center in Necas should be where he fits in or slots in. That is, if the Avs end up holding on to him. This is a product of, we talked about it, Mikko not signing his extension the other week, the opportunity to do that. the team probably not willing to pay him more money than Nathan McKinnon, which is understandable, especially with the money from Gabe still on the books. And also, it's a product of me going to the game on Wednesday night. The last 2 games I've been to, the New Jersey Devils played the Colorado Avalanche in New Jersey, and what happened after that? Bye-bye, Georgie! And the team got better. And I go to the game Wednesday night to see the Avs play the Winnipeg Jets. Bye-bye, Miko. So nice knowing you. It's been fun.
Do we let you go anymore?
See you later. But you know what? That worked out well for the Avs. It worked out really damn well.
Yeah, it did.
And you know what's happening now, everybody?
Oh, here we go. We're going to just jump into the next topic right away.
We know what's happening.
Colin,
here comes
what's going to happen? The Avs have all this money.
Here comes Sidney Crosby to the Avs. Paul Bissonnette tweeted this out also. It's all right. You can ride on my coattails, Bissonnette. I accept it. I'll let you join right now this one time. Next time, you got to have us on your show to let us talk some shop.
Yes.
But here comes Sidney Crosby to the Avs after this trade. You know they're looking for some leadership. Mikko was kind of one of those leaders, but he doesn't have the same leadership qualities that Sidney Crosby has. Sidney Crosby might not be the player he once was, but he's still the leader that he's always been. And so you send him over here to the Avs. He fills that role that Nathan McKinnon can't quite do. And the Avs are making moves. I hate to see Mikko go, but we talked about it. I've said it before. You're going to have to let some big pieces go. I thought they were probably going to be younger pieces, but I didn't shy away from the possibility that it was a Mikko or a Val. I think the Val one was obviously less likely because of the history. But I mentioned some big names possibly going in that trade, and I thought it would have to be multiple. And some of those over the years were a guy like Bowen Byram, who's no longer here, so he can no longer be traded by the Avs. But this opens up possibilities. This opens up a lot of possibilities for the Avs, including other moves. They obviously got some more draft picks. It includes a 2025 second rounder, a 2026 fourth rounder in this deal. So, Sydney, welcome to Denver, Colorado. You'll always be a Penguin. Joe, I got to say one thing.
Okay.
We're going to love having Crosby here.
Yep.
Don't you dare bork him and put his number in the rafters after the cup, all right?
I won't.
All right? If you do that, it's another bad move.
I won't.
So let's just get the cup, all right? Let's get Sid here. Let's get the cup. Let's get McKinnon and his hometown friend in Colorado going for a Stanley Cup chance. I, in fact, went on because the Avs odds to win the cup reduced significantly, and I put a significant amount on the Avs because I think there are plenty more moves to be made for this team coming up. They did not trade for a starting caliber goaltender without the thought of going after a cup, especially if Landeskog is coming back. They are going to push everything in the middle, and this is a pushing everything into the middle type of move. You don't trade Mikko for nothing. And I'm not saying these two players are nothing, but you don't trade that without something bigger in mind, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that idea of hammering the over, kind of taking them to actually win the cup because their chances just dropped. Because it's kind of like when in the NBA offseason last year when all those moves got made, and then all of a sudden it's like, Boston looks pretty good still for sure. They just got rid of Marcus Smart. That'll be nice for them. And then all of a sudden the next day they add on to the trade that they just got fucking Drew Holiday. It's like, oh damn. So, that if you took the time during that like day or couple hours or whatever it was to then bet on the Boston Celtics to win the championship after they lost Marcus Smart and didn't have a replacement for him yet, you would have made a pretty good bit of money, I believe.
And real quick, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Nate. See you commenting over on Facebook. Much appreciated. Love you guys too. And yeah, let's go, Crosby. Come on, Hesser. You know what's up. I've been all about that for a minute.
I'm glad you can see that because I can't.
I have my Facebook pulled up. Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yes. But yeah, we want to thank everyone on Facebook for tuning in. When you do mention and comment on Facebook, sometimes we can't always see it here, but we love you guys mentioning and talking. Try and get to everyone's comments.
Yes, we do. Real quick too, just because we talk about the speed of the Avs, and I mean that was the biggest benefit that they had when they won the cup. Getting Nikas He's atop the leaderboard for 22 plus and 20 plus mile per hour bursts in 24-25, atop with Nathan McKinnon, and also owns the fastest max speed by a skater this season, 24.49 miles per hour.
Sounds like a fucking weather report.
Dude is going 25 miles an hour on 2 pieces of metal about yay big. That is insane. That is fast.
And hopefully one of those things too is that he can stay up with McKinnon and the passes. McKinnon, so many times we see, I know he's probably going to be on the second line, but you got to imagine he's going to be another power play.
He's going to crack that first line.
Especially in the power play. Like that's, I don't know if he's cracking the first line all the time, but on the power play, when you're trying to rush up ice and you need that speed, McKinnon sometimes gets too far out over his skates. And he starts, it's hard to say he does too much because he's so damn good.
Yeah.
But he tries to do too much and the puck just goes away, or he's thinking so far ahead and other guys can't keep up with him. He is a player who can keep up with him. So I'm like, he was a highly touted pick. He was a highly touted pick and he's had some good seasons. It's a little bit down in Carolina, but he's also, I guess, I don't want to say buried, overshadowed, or I think it's a good spot for him to be here in with the Avs.
Are you talking about Nikas?
Yes.
He's having a great year this year for his own numbers. He's already over 50 goals.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on. What are you sure it's not points?
No, I thought it was goals. Well, let me double check. I might. Yeah,
you could. Sounds like points.
You could be right. I could have
15 points because he's got like 12 goals. But we could. I'm pulling him up right now.
Does anybody have 50 goals?
24, 25, 16 goals, 39 assists, 55 points.
Oh, okay. My bad. I read it backwards. My brain was.
Yeah, and I mean, in his career, in 113 games, 185 assists, 113 goals. It's like I said, I like where it's going this season.
And you only have him for one more too. So if it's one of those trades that doesn't work out, you only have him for one more season. And like you said, you can drop him down if you need to. But
the Avs weren't going to have Mikko probably after this year.
No, he didn't sign. He's not going to get paid more than the only guy that's going to get paid more than Mac right now is Kale. When Kale's contract comes due, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, but then McKinnon follows again in 2 years.
No, McKinnon's here till 30. His contract's good till 2030.
Yeah, I thought McKinnon or Makar still had 2. I thought he will get a new contract after the 27th season.
Oh, was it 27? Okay.
I could be wrong on that date.
I check.
Like I said, I think this is all part of bigger moves.
Yes.
More things to happen for the Avs.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Sidney Crosby thing has been my hope and what I've been wanting and preaching for years for this team. I love it. I love the pairing up. I love the familiarity, the hometown guys playing together in the NHL. All those stories, they make that kind of storybook ending. And the other thing that I talked about, remember when you guys were like, oh, well, Sidney Crosby just re-signed with the Penguins and blah, blah, blah. And what did I say? It's a very team-friendly deal.
There you go.
Which means it's also a trade-friendly deal. So for the Avs, I know he makes a lot of money, but he's not making the money that Mikko would. So give me this deal happening this season. I just, like, everyone doubted, well, he signed, he's going to be there forever. No, that's not necessarily the case. It actually, I'm pretty sure my thing was, I said it actually makes him more tradable because of how team-friendly the deal was.
I mean, not everyone doubted you. I was with you, Colin. I'm the one that put the meme in our group chat as soon as you put up that Mikko was getting traded.
Oh, I know.
But it's really cool to see for sure. So if it happens, are we buying Colin the split jersey, like the Ray Bork Bruins Avs? Are we getting the Penguins Avs Crosby?
Don't.
I think you guys need to. I think that has to happen.
That has to happen.
I'm pretty sure.
It's required.
Yeah, I've been I've been pounding this table for damn years, and if it doesn't happen this year, I will actually be pretty devastated if it doesn't happen this year. I mean, I guess it depends on who else they could move and bring in. But if I don't see Crosby in an Avs sweater this season, I will really be disappointed. I think that's a move that you make because you really are pushing everything into the middle.
Yeah, and like I could see them doing it in the off season because they'll have freed up the money and everything. But at that point, it's another year out of off of Sidney Crosby, and I would rather see it this year too. I think it'd be a lot more fun. It feels like the all-in kind of move, which they kind of already did, because if they were kind of going to go for the future and everything, they would have just let Mikko walk, and they would have retained the money, and they would have been able to replace a lot of that in free agency and kind of moved on and been okay. But like, no, using that asset, getting something now like that shows a aggressiveness that we didn't really see much last year, that we haven't seen from the Nuggets in years. So yeah, it's huge, man. And again, we're not sure it actually happens, or even something similar maybe if they can't get it done. So if we can't get Crosby, do we get Ovechkin?
Ovechkin is not leaving the Caps. That's one that if that is not happening. But I will say this too. I know I talked about putting my money on the Avs, which I think is honest. Obviously, I think it's a pretty smart play right now with their odds dropping.
Yeah,
but don't forget that Joe Sakic was on that team with Ray Bourque that won the championship. They did not win it the first year, though.
No.
It was a year after the trade. So Sakic has seen this play out before. And like I said, this is much more of it can be an instant trade, gratification, whatever type of move, but he has seen it play out well in the long term over a season and a half. He has seen that play out well too. And when we go back to Crosby's contract, the Avs can afford him, especially if this is Landeskog's last run. That money comes off the board too. So if this is the last year that Landeskog is going to be out there, that there's a really good chance that the Avs can still make some really good moves in the offseason as well. And that would pump up next year's team even more. I kind of like the idea. I didn't have a chance because I was doing the DU hockey game tonight to see if there was a 25-26 future on the Stanley Cup winner. Because I think that would honestly, once again, to go back to the Bourque thing, that would play into that hand really well. And I'm assuming that regardless of what happens this year, Landeskog playing or not, it's done. I don't think he's going into year 4 of not playing, trying to make a comeback.
No.
There's no way he can't. As much as I love him, and I love having him around, he's amazing. I mean, he's again one of those once a generation type players. But you're just taking up a roster spot at this point, guy. I'm sorry.
And a chunk of the salary cap.
Shit or get off the pot. That's basically where you're at. Shit or get off the pot. And it's hard to maintain a level of confidence that you're going to come back when every week it's he's skating, he's looking better, and I understand that you basically have a basically reconstructed knee, and so it takes a baby how long to learn how to walk, and so we're in this kind of infancy stage where now he's probably just past toddler and he's probably about a 3-year-old now, and you can kind of let him go, but you still got to watch him.
Now I'm just picturing Rick and Morty baby legs, but just with Landy's face photoshopped onto baby legs.
Sounds like someone's got some work to do on Photoshop. I sit here and I just when I think about Landeskog, like I said, and this being his last year, in my opinion, I think about kind of myself and that competitive nature. Like he had to be dragged off the ice.
Yeah,
and I've gone back and been playing baseball. I know it's not at that competitive level, but you're going to have to drag me off of the field for me to stop playing. It's going to take a lot for me to stop playing the game that I love. I hope to be an 80-year-old person at Rocky's dream fantasy camp, whatever, hitting
like that
to
old
the
guy.
outfield, like stealing bases, trying to. I don't even care. Like that's what it's going to take to get me off, and I understand that for Landeskog, and I hope that for him and this team, they can go out and really contend for a championship, and he can give it a solid run, because this is turned into a long drawn out scenario where we all know the end, and it's not going to be anything like it was during the Stanley Cup run, but we don't want to see it end how it has. So like, let's get him out there if he can, and go out with an Elway, a Manning walk-off type moment. How cool would that be? Like, there aren't many walk-off moments like that in sports, and in Colorado we've had 2 of them.
Yeah.
To have a third,
the biggest ones with a quarterback too.
2.5.
2.5. Who?
Bork.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
2.5.
2.5 with Bork. Yeah, that's true. Very true. I just mentioned him earlier. 2.5 with Bork. You're right.
I thought you were thinking of D. Ware. I was going to be like, no, DeMarcus played in 2016.
I was like, there was one more season. Yeah, there would be a really cool moment. That would be one of those moments in Colorado sports history that might not be recognized around the country like the Manning or the Elway ones were. But I think for Colorado sports, that is really huge, because he's a guy who's been here, through the thick and thin.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone deserves to skate off into the sunset, it's fucking Gabe Landeskog.
At least he's not flying off into the sunset with the Canes.
Exactly.
I mean, did you see the Canes? Their odds went up too as soon as that trade was finalized.
It went from 800 to 550.
Yep.
There you go. I'm sure it did.
They're a good team.
They are a good team.
A really good team.
Well, weren't they in the conference finals last year or a year before or something like that? I feel like the Canes were really high in the playoffs.
They've been playoff contenders, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been good for a few years. And Miko does put them as one of those favorites out in the. Actually, I think at plus 550 they are the favorites out east.
Yeah, they are now.
Like he's a great player, and it's one of those I'm not happy to see him go. But if this turns out the way that I've wanted and hoped and whatever, I mean, I'll be glad. I'm happy for the years that Miko was here. There really are no hard feelings. Do I wish he would have signed a lower deal and stayed with the Avs? Of course, because we all have that homegrown, just like Gabe, like we talk about with Gabe. We all have that homegrown, want him to stay home, want him to stay here his whole career. Ovechkin in Washington. We all want that. But the reality is in sports is that's not the norm.
No. Well, hell, I mean, even look at Garrett Bowles too. I mean, not the same talent level, but the dude took a hometown discount.
Yeah,
he could have made more money than what he's making the rest of his career here in Denver. I mean, kudos to him. But I mean, it just depends on who you are. Some guys want to make sure their families down the line are taken care of, and good for you.
Yeah.
For sure. And you could argue that Miko's right to an extent, because it's not about him wanting to get paid more than McKinnon. It's just how the market is. The NHL has made money. Salary cap has gone up. So it's less so about him wanting to make more. It's more so about just getting what he's worth and what the current market for a player of Mikko Rantanen's caliber is. I almost said character. Like, yeah, if you're a really nice guy, we're gonna pay you shit tons of money.
I mean, he seems to have a pretty good character too.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's sad to see him go, but man, the Avs. If you're the one message that does have to go out to the Avalanche and the Brass and Sakic and McFarland is, if you make this move, you better follow it up and it better work out. Because if you just gave away Mikko Rantanen and neither Drury or Nikas don't work out, those draft picks don't turn into anything, and Mikko goes on and flourishes like he probably will in Carolina. They play a very similar style of game to the Avs. It's fast, it's up pace, it's high scoring. They have a good style for Mikko. But if the Avs don't do anything with this move or it doesn't pan out, it could be looked back upon as one of the worst trades in the Avs, franchise history.
Yeah, for sure. Devastating. It's not like this was a bad thing. It was necessary at the time because of the lockout, but it's like losing Adam Foote.
Yeah.
It just felt awful. And, we can't blame anybody for it because they just couldn't, afford to. Everyone was getting their teeth kicked in too much and not getting paid enough.
Well, yeah, they lost Foote and Forsberg during lockout.
That's right. They lost, Forsberg came back, but that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. He left for a bit of time.
Philadelphia,
his career. And then Foote came back for the very tail end of his career too, which was sweet. But yeah, man, it's interesting too because again, to tie it back into the Nuggets, he kind of is the Michael Porter Jr. I think Miko's better than Porter, but so it's interesting to see the Avs making the move. And I think we're at the point now to where we're pretty sure the Nuggets are not going to make that move, at least this offseason. So it'll be interesting to see how those two paths pan out.
Yeah, but I mean, MPJ is a different situation too because he's not looking to get paid right now. He's still under a decent contract, and yeah, his talent level is dependent on himself. Whereas when the Moose gets out there, the Moose is just the Moose. He's just destroying everybody and trying to get that puck on net however he needs to. And I don't know. I think, again, just varying levels, almost like the comparison of Garrett Bowles taking lesser money. It's, I see what you're saying, but the talent level is a little different too.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's better.
Miko's
definitely better. Yeah, Miko's definitely better.
I'm sorry, I must have missed that part.
No, you're fine. You were on a roll. I was just gonna let you go. Yeah, no, Miko's definitely. Yeah, I was like, Miko's definitely better than
Thank
Porter.
You for proving my point.
Thank you for agreeing with me when you said you disagreed. I do. I mean, yeah, Mikko could go. I mean, he's probably the best player on the Hurricanes, right?
Yeah,
he could be.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of sweaters getting sold here in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Like I said, they're going to be good. I mean, it's.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he goes from 96 to 69?
Hockey. I feel like is going to be. The numbers are a lot like football.
Yeah, they're going to. I think it's not like Shorzy where he's just going to rock 69.
Yeah. He'll probably end up having to pay for he may have to pay for the number. Who knows? I mean, that's always been a thing too.
Jack Roslovic has number 96.
Oh shit! Well, had.
Yeah,
had. We'll see what happens.
What the price tag is on that, we'll find out.
It's hockey. It'll be like $20.
Did you know that he's joining another former Av out there in Carolina? I didn't realize there was another former Av out there.
How recent?
Mr. Let's say 4 years ago, I want to say.
4 years ago, so before the Cup.
Think Sean Kemp.
I can't remember.
Tyson Jost.
I'm trying to think of
Tyson Jost. Remember him trying to announce the name when he went to Seattle.
Yes.
For the expansion draft.
Yes.
Yost or Yost?
Yeah. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, Tyson Jost is out there in Carolina. So
that'll be nice at least to settle in.
Oh man, that would be the possibility of a Avs and Hurricanes final. Like I said, I'm anticipating the Avs doing something.
Yeah.
But the possibility of that that would be fiery.
This has Cup Run feel all over again.
Yeah. Man.
This isn't one of those like trades where you're just like, oh man, you clear out your goaltender room. You send one of your top 3 players across the country for a couple dudes and to free up some money too, because Chicago, for whatever reason, felt like paying $9.5 million for Mikko just to not have him.
To not have Taylor Hall
and Mikko.
And they got the draft pick.
Nate, we'll get to you in a second, Nate. I just, when I sit here, it's like if the Avalanche are strip teasing us and leaving us walking out of this season
like
with
Demi
a whole
Moore.
lot of wood and no finish, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. All right.
I'm gonna be like
We
Burt
got a lot
Reynolds
of wood on
covered
this
in
team.
Vaseline.
They got to finish it.
Yeah.
They got to finish it.
Yep. What's Nate got?
I was like, oh, he was asking NFL. So
okay. Well, I mean, let me wrap this up real quick, and we'll head over to the NFL. I mean, it's again, it's got that cup run feel again. Not that it didn't before. You felt like the Avs could do it, but they're just playing with their food right now, and it's getting kind of annoying. Just stop screwing around and win these games you're supposed to win. I mean, you had a chance to move up in the Western Conference this whole week at home, and you decided to win every other game. It's like, come on, guys.
It's because Colin went to the game with Macon, and and then the Avs decided to make the trade.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
I mean, I'm
the
telling
fact that you're dating an AI thing is kind of scary, though.
And she's definitely not AI. What I have to say though is like this. I have to disagree that it feels like a cup run because the Avs haven't. They made a big move in the other way of a cup run so far. They haven't made the move to bring in the guys for the cup run.
No, so that's what this was for.
I know. It's starting to feel like it could be, but it isn't yet. At least to me.
I got you.
You have to make the follow-up moves.
I got you.
Make the corresponding moves, and then I'm like, okay, they're serious about this. Or they're just saying it's going to be in the offseason after they unload Landeskog or Landeskog retires. Like that, it's one or two things.
In the cup year, they got a few guys. It wasn't just one or two. They brought in like 4 or 5 guys at that trade deadline and really filled out the depth. And they became from like one of the deepest teams in hockey to the fucking deepest team in hockey. Yeah. So it could be something like that too. But I agree, it'd be less fun than Sidney Crosby.
Like I said, I don't know if I'm saying it's feeling like it yet. It depends on this next move or two that happens. Then I'll start believing it because I'm still a little wary that the Avs might be putting it a year off and kicking the can. So I'm hoping that they're not, but I am a little wary of that because we saw that 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, they're on their East Coast swing right now, so we'll find out. They got back-to-backs in Boston and New York, Saturday and Sunday, respectively. And that's a bus ride from Pittsburgh. Actually, no, it's a little bit further than that. From Boston to Pittsburgh, it's more of a flight. But
I mean, you can get a bus to a lot of places.
You can.
It's got to take a fucking
while. I'd rather fly.
You know what?
I've driven through that part of Pennsylvania. It's not fun.
Speaking of buses, get your bus tickets up to Boulder because yes, Nate, with the coaching hirings going on, his question was with the Cowboys hiring Schottenheimer. Congratulations, Cowboys fans. You've been eliminated from the playoffs in 2025. Yes, Prime is returning to Boulder. He's going to stay. There's no reason for him to leave. The Raiders have their coach in Carroll. He's there for 3 years. The teams that could possibly hire or draft Shedeur are diminishing as far as their coaching vacancies go. So Prime will sign his contract in Boulder. This is just Prime doing Prime things. I'm not worried about him and Boulder.
He's a businessman
right now. Yeah. So that was his question was, I don't know how you guys feel, but like I said, his question to be exact was, Cowboys job closes. Dion finally signed his new contract. I mean, finally, I don't know if you mean finally as in after midnight or today in the next hour and a half, hour 14 minutes, does he sign it? I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's going to happen soon. It's happening before the spring game. It's happening before all these recruits start coming in.
And with his personality, he's not going to go anywhere. He only did part of what he wanted to do. He got Miss Peggy to a bowl game last year. It's not the bowl game he wanted. We all know that. We all know he wanted to get into the college football playoffs. The Buffs were not going to be ready for it. We saw the talent that was the football championship, and the Buffs are still not there yet. I mean, it's great that they're sitting in the top 25, top 30, but you still got some mountains to climb there, bud.
Well, Yeah, so he'll be back. He'll be here,
which is great because CU they're not going to be that good next year, and that's okay.
I don't know, dude.
The fact that Dion is signing on to a team with a freshman quarterback, unless another guy comes in or whatever, that shows that he's there to build the team. It's not going to be like old school college football where it takes multiple years. It's going to take one, depending on the quarterback working out, because he'll be able to retool and get it all worked out. But the fact that he's coming back for what should be a down year, I know you guys are about to say that maybe it won't be, and I would love that. That would be great. But I think that speaks volumes to his commitment to the team.
We've seen some good freshman quarterbacks in college.
Yeah.
Football. I don't know if maybe he does come in as a true freshman and do well. Usually it is a red
Who's that
shirt.
Manning kid they got down? Was it Texas?
He didn't lead him to a championship, but
no, but
Quinn Ewers.
Should have.
When he played for Quinn Ewers, he was playing pretty damn well.
I thought he was gonna, dude. I thought he was gonna straight up take his job.
I think I honestly they
thought of it.
I have a feeling that there was some behind the scenes stuff going on, like for Ewers to keep it, because even now Quinn was talking about transferring, not going into the NFL portal or NFL draft. So I have a feeling that there's some other stuff happening there that was going on. And that's why the Arch Manning stuff leaving was also a conversation. But we have a lot of time to talk about CU and what's happening.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, I think Dion's going to be there. Do they have a chance? I think they do have a decent amount of returning players. Yeah, granted, it's not their Heisman front runner that already. Well, he could still return too. Let's not.
Yeah, he has one more year.
I guess I shouldn't go that far. He has one more year, and if some team takes him that shouldn't, he might be back.
Yeah, and Prime's having
that's going to help any. That's going to help any freshman QB.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he returns to college. The Broncos somehow managed to trade for a top first-round pick. Travis Hunter stayed in Colorado.
They'll have a whole hell of a lot more ammo after this season.
Yeah, they will.
No, they'll have money. They could sign T. Higgins and then just trade him for a first-round pick.
Anyway, moving on to the NFL. So there's 4 storylines going into this conference championship weekend, or Sunday, I guess. So you have the first ever three-peat. There's Josh Allen finally slaying his demon. First rookie quarterback to take his team to a Super Bowl. And a team that lacks chemistry that somehow that got buried amongst everything else. Which storyline is most important?
Important? Three-peat.
Yes.
100%. It's not close. Three-peat. That's the most important for the NFL, for history, for everything. That's, one way or the other. Whether they make it or they don't, that's by far the most important. No one's had a chance since Brady and the Patriots. Do they do it twice? Do they have a chance twice?
Back twice, yes.
Yeah, and they fucked it up every time. I also love the Champ Bailey's interception is the game that sealed it the first time. So, suck it. But no, that's the most important one for sure.
Yeah, you're right. That is the most important one, which does tie into the most important for NFL fans. Like, you want, I guess not. People are sick of the Chiefs. A lot of people are. Yes. And so it ties in because are they going to go for the three-peat? Can they do it? Will it be against a rookie quarterback? Will there be these asterisks because Jalen Hurts? If they make it, is he hobbled and hurt? But you go back to that game, and it's can Josh Allen stop the three-peat? Because is there any doubt? I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that the winner of the Bills and Chiefs game is winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Unless something happens in that game that, weird injury, like this is pending that. But my money is on either the Bills or Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Because while Philadelphia, like you mentioned, they've had their ups and downs and their in-house drama that came out of the house or out of locker room. I think that does catch up to them. I think they also have a monkey on their back, knowing that they had a chance already to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and didn't. That they have to slay that dragon if they get to that matchup. And cool story, great story, Jaden Daniels, but I don't think that you're going to go toe-to-toe against either the Bills or the Chiefs defense in the Super Bowl, the biggest game that you've ever played in. We got to remember, he wasn't at a college that was playing in a lot of big games. He played in some big games. I mean, Florida Georgia is always a big game. They have big games there. But there's a whole nother amount of pressure
rivalry
in that
games
game.
And the ultimate game. Those are two different feels still.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, I played in the Florida Georgia game. No, this is the Super Bowl, dude. This is every American and almost every TV in the world has you on it at that point. You are the
this isn't a country music group. This is no
Florida,
Georgia.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we established which one you guys feel for the NFL is most important. Which one are you wanting to carry on?
Oh, I'm the Bills. I mean, I wanted it to be a Bills and Lions Super Bowl. That's what I really wanted. I predicted. Obviously, I was wrong on the Lions part, but when you sit here and look at the Bills, Josh Allen is, it's that girl we could have had, like should have locked up, and it's like I'm still happy for you. I'm still cheering for you, man. Would I love to see you here? I know Nick's, Nick, you love Bo Nix, but
I would have loved Josh Allen too.
Allen,
I mean, I watched him pick apart my Rams.
Who knows if he would have become what he is today through that regime or the regime changes. But looking at Josh Allen, what he's been through, and I still can never get out of my head fucking Patrick Mahomes at the end of that game going up to Josh Allen and being such a little turd nugget where he's like, I can't believe that call.
Yeah.
Like that still sticks in my head because you just went in a great game and you don't congratulate. You make it seem like that guy didn't deserve to win the game. Like I said, I can respect the talent. I talked about it with Brady. I hated Brady. I hated Manning all those times because they were so damn good. But I did respect the talent.
Yeah.
And I hated the way that they got calls all the time because they were that good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they pissed me off to the point that Mahomes has with a lot of this stuff.
No, not at all.
I don't.
I'm the opposite. I definitely like Mahomes better than Brady. Because Mahomes never cheated. Even though Mahomes as a person definitely annoys the shit out of me in the commercials and everything, he never hurt the integrity of the game. Like, although there's conspiracy stuff about the refs, so maybe he did.
Yeah, I'm like, don't speak too soon.
Yeah, like, who knows? I don't know that he's not cheating somehow. But I've always had a different feel about Mahomes. Less hatred than I always had for Brady and Manning before he came here. Because people forget we fucking hated that guy.
Oh yeah, I didn't forget. I hated Peyton Manning.
Yeah, dude.
But he would demolish us. It was the same thing. I mean, there'd be the whole Phillip Rivers comment. Hated him, but man, if he's your quarterback, you love him. Russell Westbrook on the Nuggets. You hate going against him, but you love him on your team. And so that's the way it goes. But Mahomes, would I be pissed off if the Broncos got Mahomes tomorrow? No, but would I be as excited as I was if it was a Manning?
Russell Wilson.
I was not excited about that, Nick.
I know.
Put me in that pile of crap that it was. Oh, Russell Wilson's 2 votes away from the Hall of Fame. He's an Eli Manning away from the Hall of Fame.
That's still my favorite. Yeah, he's an Eli Manning away. That's it.
I'm just saying.
Right there.
I'm just reading the numbers. I'm just reading the numbers.
Idiotic PFF. That's the worst stat ever.
Hey, at least I would have voted for Ichiro.
I'm never going to forget that. Yeah, you read that and tried to pass it off as a good stat. Terrible. Terrible.
I'm just reading the numbers.
He's an Eli Manning.
You were trying to defend the numbers.
You can't argue with what random things on the internet say.
But I would I would be far more disappointed. Like I said, would I be excited that the Broncos got Mahomes? Of course, because he's a great quarterback. But I wouldn't have nowhere near the same excitement level because there are still all the annoying things that go along with him.
Yeah. It's like if we got Brady instead of Manning, I would have been less happy.
Yeah.
Because we hated Manning for sure, but it was a healthy respect to an extent,
Yeah. Well, speaking of healthy respect, we'll wait for those games to play out on Sunday. So I love I love Championship Sunday. Joker again, the lone all-star for the Nuggies. Let's all show our shocked face real quick.
He's the only one who deserved it.
I'm not mad about it this year.
Okay.
This year I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying it's
another year.
It's par for the course. So is really what I'm saying. So I mean, that talks in itself. I mean, he's had 4 triple doubles the last 4 games, and has had to play 1 fourth quarter in the last 4 games. Hucks a 75-foot shot out of nowhere and walks off the court like he does it every day.
Best quarterback in Denver.
66.
Was that the final footage?
I believe it was 66 was the final one. And
during the call, he's like, from 78 feet. And I'm like, that sounds legit. Fuck it. There's no way that's right, but I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that was pretty great because it also clinched my I had a little parlay going yesterday.
Parlay.
God.
So as I throw this up there, step 1, Tyler Hero, 20 points. Step 2, PJ Washington.
Yeah, we can't. You got a glare coming off your light there, bub.
Just read it to us.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero, 20 points. PJ Washington, 7 rebounds.
Ignore us and keep.
I had a Nuggets three-leg parlay. Sub bonus. 1-3. Jokic, 2 threes. De'Aaron Fox, 5 assists.
Awesome. Thank you.
Guess what Jokic's second 3 was? 66
from long distance.
Foot heave.
Love it.
Wow.
25 paid 250 or 225,
nice.
Whatever.
With a heave and a hoe.
Beautiful, beautiful moment for me. I didn't realize until then. I was like, oh, Jokic only hit 2 threes. Oh, that was his second 3. That's what did it for me.
I was at work and I had just heated up my food and I'm sitting there and I see the inbound and I'm like, he's not gonna make it. And I'm watching. I'm like, that shit's about to go in. That man is not human. And I'm surprised nobody came over to my desk and was like, oh, no way. But, it is what it is. Joker himself, the dude's a walking all-star anyway. It's not like we really need to argue that point. But my question for you guys is AG's been back. Yes. He's obviously on a minutes restriction. I'm trying to make this quick so Colin can get to the victory formation. And Malone has said he's going to keep AG on a minutes restriction for now. But AG has already said he's willing to go to that second unit because of how well Westbrook's been succeeding and how well that first unit is now playing together. Is AG going to have any regret about doing this, or is this legit AG team first?
I mean, he's already got his extension. So
yeah.
What does it matter? And he's not healthy. He needs that restriction. He left the game last night early and doesn't look right. So, I don't even really think of it much as a benching. It just kind of feels like now the Nuggets have found their replacement for Bruce Brown. They found their 6th man. It feels like they have basically 6 starters. So the exact lineup they come out with kind of doesn't matter. So when you get into the playoffs, you can have Russ come off the bench. You can have Gordon come off the bench. You can have Christian Brown. You can have Porter. You can have Jokic. I'm kidding. But that'd be hilarious just to fuck with somebody.
You could have Murray.
Not there you go. That's the one that you actually do. But it's really nice to see. But they need to keep that because if they try to play him too much or whatever, because he's been the starter forever. We want that Gordon, Jokic, lob, the lob threat. They could end up hurting themselves a lot more. So I kind of like it to an extent. I don't love the idea of keeping him on the bench all the time, especially when he's fully healthy. He's one of the top 5 best players on the team. But at the end of the day, like I said, he's got his extension. He's good with it. He'll be by far the best 6th man in the league. He won't win 6th man of the year because he'll have started too much. But that's the best bench player in basketball if it's fucking Aaron Gordon.
Well, but you also, he said he's okay with it. Malone had mentioned that he's fine with it. And when you take a look at his transformation from Orlando to Denver and him feeling like he needed to be the guy and then finding his spot and his role on this team, you're right. He does have the extension. He's safe. And I don't know if another team would pay to have that come off of the Nuggets roster. But I also think the Nuggets would realize how valuable of a piece that is, especially going into an offseason. My assumption, my idea could be that Gordon is coming off the bench. You're going into an offseason where I think that he's way safer in a Nuggets uniform than Jamal Murray is.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens this year, if there's one guy who's going to be let go, it's not going to be the guy who's being selfless and taking the spot on the bench. It's the guy who's claiming to be a star and not playing like it. And I think that's where it goes. I think Gordon is A, being really smart about his current situation with the Nuggets, but B, being a very good team player and understanding where the Nuggets are and what's working. Do I think some games he needs to start? Hell yeah. I think there are definitely games he needs to start and be out there more. But I also don't think you tinker with something that's working. And we have to remember that Russell Westbrook was coming off the bench and still getting 20-plus minutes a night too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like this 6-person rotation means it's an actual bench rotation.
Yeah,
it will be much better in the playoffs because we talked about it with Minnesota last year. They had these guys coming off the bench that were fresh, that were still upper level bench players. Are they Aaron Gordon level? Hell no. But they're still damn good players. We're damn good players.
Yeah, Christian Brown coming off the bench is phenomenal because he has become such a better player than when he was a bench player. So now you get one of the best bench players in basketball. When before he was just our bench player who, was good for sure. But like this year, Christian Brown has blossomed. So you get that coming off the bench. Hell yeah. You get Russ coming off the bench. Hell yeah. Porter. Fuck it. I think he's had a really good year this year. And so depending on the matchup, but every one of those guys that comes off the bench, you kind of get one of the best, if not the best bench player in basketball. Like that's kind of a great problem. All of a sudden the Nuggets are deep. I still feel like they could use one more guy, but it doesn't feel as desperate. It feels like they could, they're not going to get a trade involving like Saric or Najee unless they use that first round pick from like 2030, whatever the fuck. And they're probably not going to do that. So, but like they might be able to just fill out the roster with some buyout dudes, see who's available here after the trade deadline happens. Because that's how they got Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, well, All-Star break's coming up, so the trade deadline's fast approaching as well. We'll see if the Nuggets can make a splash like the Avs did, or like Colin's bank account in the victory formation. We're ready. Where are you?
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
That's right. This is the victory formation, your favorite part of the show where we make real bets with fake money and keep track of it to see who the winner is at the end of the year. And Nick, I was definitely ready for that. I don't know what you're talking about. I had it hovering. I knew you were going to transition sooner or later. Let's transition into this week as one of us went 4-0 and two of us went 2-2 on the week. Let's get into it and how it worked out. Well, the first game of the week was Notre Dame and Ohio State. Nick loved the Golden Domers, but that lost him $10. Me and Joe win $12.78.
They almost came back.
Ohio State was at minus 360. Next was Mississippi State versus Tennessee. Well, the only 10 that I see was $10 going out of my bank account for choosing Mississippi State, as Nick and Joe both got that one correct, winning $12.22. Even worse odds than Ohio State at minus 450. I didn't know that top 10 matchup was going to be so bad, or top 20 matchup, excuse me, but it was. And then we chose between the Heat and the Bucks. Well, the Heat were doing things, and then they suspended Jimmy Butler again, and they got blown out by the Bucks. So Nick and Joe get that one correct, winning $14 at minus 250. And the big win of the week came when the Capitals beat the Oilers in Edmonton with a Ovechkin overtime game winner. Me and Joe got that right, 23.50, meaning Joe was the big winner on the week, winning 62.50. I was in second at 16.28. Nick in third, still positive, 6.22. We have a leader in the clubhouse, and we have broken $100 already on the year. Two of you have broken $100. I am not one of them. I'm in third at $30.70. Joe is in second at 107.83. $1.02 ahead. It's Nick at 108.85.
Nice.
Killing the game early on. Let's get into the games that we are picking for this week. We kick things off with the Commanders versus the Eagles. This is obviously a home game with the Eagles. Nick's just disappointed that this is the first game, and as we go through this, it doesn't change. You're the first to pick. Commanders plus 225 dogs going up against the Eagles at minus 278. Favorites. Who you got, Nick?
As much as I would love Jaden Daniels to make history, Jaden, whatever I called him last week when I got it wrong. As much as I would love Jalen Rose to take the Commanders to the Super Bowl, that Eagles offense is just still a little too scary for me. So give me Fly Eagles Fly one more time.
Nick still loves Philadelphia, just like his Phillies and Bryce Harper.
Eagles.
Joe, who you got?
I mean, Jaden McDaniels is a pretty good quarterback, let me tell you. Like if it came down to Jalen Hurts or Jaden Smith, it'd be hard to choose. But as good as Jada Pinkett Smith is, I think we're gonna go with the Eagles and Saquon Barkley. I've been picking against them every single week, and they've proved me wrong. They just won the ball, and they're efficient. I think AJ Brown is learning how to read.
He is learning how to read. Maybe he's not learning how to read the room very well sometimes. But what I will say about this, I've been nervous about this game all week. I haven't had a good read on it. And anytime I'm nervous about a team that's a favorite, I just go with the underdog. And so I'm going with the Commanders here because I don't know if Jalen Hurts is actually hurt or not, or how hurt he will be. And that hurts the Eagles' chances to hurt the Commanders. And Jaden Daniels, I know the Eagles' defense is really good. I mean, the only thing that oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? The defensive lineman who had the sack on Stafford last week. Oh my God, oh man, I had such a good line ready, and now from Georgia. Oh my God.
The tackle. That guy. Totally.
Hold on. I got it.
Jiminy Cricket.
I'm gonna get this.
Oh, hey, while you look that up, speaking of
the only thing that can stop Jalen Carter from getting to the quarterback is a girl drunk driving him around Georgia's university and getting
got him.
The reason why Jalen Carter's draft status fell was because of that whole fiasco. The Eagles got a steal in that draft. But I do think Jaden Daniels is elusive enough and will play good enough to win this game. Like I said, I don't have a good feel for Philadelphia. I've been asked who I'm taking this weekend. It's like if I don't have a good feeling on how Hurts is going to be playing. So give me the Commanders in this game. Nick, sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, now I got two things. Number one, that was a long walk for that punchline there, bub.
I know.
Number two,
I had it ready in the car on the way home. I was ready, and then I was like, forgot the name as we were getting into it, and I couldn't play it off long enough to get to the roster.
And number two, that's the circus song you were singing. That was actually a military march back in the like 1700s or something for like some country out. I don't remember where it was now, but I just
Probably a bunch of
heard
clowns.
that last night.
Bunch of clowns.
Can you imagine playing that?
Commanders are going to clown on the Eagles this Sunday.
I don't know. It's going to be a good.
Speaking of I
was just saying it's going to be a good game. I think either way.
I think so too. But speaking of a clown, we mentioned him earlier. Patrick Mahomes takes on the Buffalo Bills. Chiefs -130 favorites against the Bills at +110 underdogs. Obviously, odds are very close. So, Joe, who you got?
I hate it, but it's the Chiefs.
He's going to take the Chiefs.
They're the Chiefs. Until proven otherwise, I got to do it.
I have got to take the Bills in this one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been cheering for them this whole time, and it might not be the smart one, but sometimes, smart money doesn't always win all your money. Sometimes you got to get stupid lucky, kind of like my big parlay earlier this year. Nick, who you got?
I've been saying this all playoffs. The Bills are playing with house money. They're on a revenge tour, and this is the year they slay that demon. Kansas City goes home with their tail between their legs, and we are rooting the Buffalo Bills on in a Super Bowl.
All right, next we got a matchup of top 25 teams, actually top 15. Number 12, Kansas at home against number 7, Houston in NCAA basketball, men's basketball. No line for this one. I'm doing it. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Nick, who you got, Houston or Kansas?
I don't know. Last time I picked them, they won. Give me Kansas.
Last time we picked them, they lost.
No, last time I picked them, not we.
I'm pretty sure we both picked Kansas. Oh no, you picked Iowa State. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember last time we picked them. So all right,
like last year.
Kansas also. I'm sure it was. I'm not going back to look to see if you're right or lying to me.
Good.
Nick is taking them. Joe, who you got?
I'm taking Kansas. Everyone, take Houston.
God damn it. Sorry, Megan. Kansas is losing. All right, we go on. I also can't pick Houston because they laid an egg against Auburn earlier this year that cost me probably $1,000. NBA, last game that we're picking, the Bucks at 25-17 go to La La Land to take on the Clippers at 25-19. Once again, no lines for this one. But Nick, who you got?
Yeah, give me the Bucks.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
Joe, who you got?
Giannis. I don't know, man. The Clippers are getting it together. They're one of those teams too that I feel like I've said that about for the past 2 or 3 years, and then they just fall apart and get hurt in the playoffs. So, yeah, regular season, Clippers taking them.
Yeah, not the playoffs. So give me the Clippers also. Them playing back in LA has definitely given them a little bit of motivation. Being able to get back after those fires, and I'll probably get screwed over by another LA team. Why couldn't you win, Rams?
Damn it, James Harden.
That's all right, though. Well, there it is. I mean, we're wrapping it up. The picks are in. I guess it's going to be a Bills or Chiefs versus the Eagles or the Commanders Super Bowl because none of us picked the same.
Weird.
Well, technically, that's just the 4 options. So, yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thanks for participating. Those of you that jumped into the chat, we appreciate that even more because then we get to have fun with you as well. And, say something weird and we'll make fun of you for it. Ask Joe. For Colin Zanker, Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. Thank you, Michael Spillin, and everybody over at E5280sports.com for hosting us. Thank you to Pikes Peak Sports Cards, our sponsor. And thank you to all of you that tune in and let us continue to do this. Don't forget to like, share, love. Tell your moms, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends. And just make sure that you remember we love you. I did work.
Ha, nice. I would like to apologize. I couldn't see the comments. So everything stupid that you said, just say it again next week.